One, two, three.
Everyone, this is Kyle Galaz with Poor2Pro Car Sales Training Podcast. Become a sales titan. I didn't realize this when I started the podcast, but my favorite thing to do is one-on-one sessions because I get to meet like-minded people that want to excel in the car business, whether they've been in the car business 1 month or 30 years. They have the same emotional stance that I want to be the best at my dealership. I want to be the best in the business, and I have one right in front of me. This great looking dude named Alex. Alex, if you want, introduce yourself. Tell us a little about your background and maybe how long you've been in the car business.
For sure, Kyle. Hi, my name is Alex Carfagnini. I'm residing from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. It's actually my first month in car sales, and I have a background in food and beverage. I have been a business owner, restaurant owner. I have been a general manager at a very large establishment. It's a multi-million dollar per year revenue restaurant at the airport. And yeah, so I wanted to hop on with Kyle today and get some inside tips and the my own personal not personal struggles, but personal things that I've been dealing with at the dealership for the first month.
Yeah, very, very cool. And you feel like you've excelled what you would have done in your first month. So you're on a positive note. And the comment you made before we started was, I have nothing negative to say. If you can keep it that way, your mental health at your dealership will always be on the best side because a lot of people go down these rabbit holes of negativity. The dealership doesn't do this, the dealership doesn't do that. Oh my gosh, the owner this, the owner that, my manager this. And all they're doing is spinning themselves out because the dealership has been there before you were there and it'll be there after you're there. So you might as well embrace what you can and stay positive because that's all we have real control of is our own personality. So stay positive. That's a great attribute, Alex. And I can see it in your face that you're one of those guys that probably looks for the more positive than the negative.
Well, yeah, I mean, with my background in food and beverage, I mean, you always try to focus on the positive and not the negative because, I mean, that's, customer service first. Like I had mentioned to you before, Kyle, it being my first month, I've actually surprised at how well things are going so far. Like I had mentioned to you before, I could have closed out on 6 sales. Um, I ended up with four. Those are two very different stories for the two losses. But overall, like coming into the business and being fresh or being green, as everybody else would say, I'm a car guy. I've always been a car guy since I was much younger. I've always been in the customer service industry, so I figured I would take a chance in car sales. And surprisingly, it's been great so far. And like I'm not gonna set the bar too high or anything like that, but for my first month, like I'm surprised. Um,
Yeah, just
maybe some other people might not experience that first great month, but for me, it's been great so far. And yeah, like I've been listening to your podcast like when I give my notice at my old job, and I've been listening to your podcast like consistently every day leading up until I officially was on the floor after my first week of training, and pretty much you become like a staple in my morning routine and my after work routine. And I noticed on all your podcasts, like, putting in the work and stuff like that. And I found
yeah.
it so helpful. And it's been a seamless transition for me.
Yeah, it's great when especially when you're new. If you can find training when you're new, you'll create these new habits, new wrinkles in the brain. You won't learn from some guy that doesn't know how to do it, that's training you a couple desks down at your dealership that, can't sell more than 10 a month for the last 30 years. It's good that you're getting training early because now you can set a new course in your career. So before we get started too, I just want to say thank you for booking the one-on-one and spending hard-earned money on a hour session with Porter Pro and me. So I appreciate it very much, Alex.
Oh, no problem. Honestly, like I mentioned before, the initial lead up to this whole new opportunity for me it's been very, very, very great thanks to you. So honestly like it made absolute sense to jump on for a one-on-one.
Well, very cool. Appreciate it. All right, let's get started. So you got four topics. The
Right.
first one I really like because Alex, the way he puts it is invisible deal killers. The things that we can't see that poison in a deal that you don't know what's happening and your deal's evaporating right in front of you, or kind of what you talked about. What are hidden factors that kill deals after a customer leaves, and how can I influence them when I'm not present? So the biggest killer to a deal, invisible deal killer, is time. Time kills deals. And if you just use yourself as an example or myself as an example, if I go to Best Buy, I always use Best Buy in these stores because I still like going into a store. I don't always like buying everything online. But if I go into a Best Buy and they just have that one item that I didn't necessarily plan on buying, but it's kind of in my wheelhouse of electronics, and it's at the right price, they have it in stock, and I have a guy that's explaining it right, I'll buy it. It could be a $30 item, it could be a $300 item. It doesn't matter the price there. It's a matters what matters is my emotion at that very moment when I'm at the store. So now when I leave, if I see the item, but then I leave, Alex, and I go home and I'm, doing my stuff and I'm doing this and mowing the lawn and getting ready for my work week, that emotion is now gone. So now the only thing in my head is just the item itself. The emotion's gone. It's the item itself and the dollar amount attached to that item. Because what has elapsed from then until till now? Time. Time has elapsed. And time killed my purchase my buying abilities because I overthought it. I'm thinking too much. There's time that's gone by. My emotions gone down. So time. So the biggest thing is knowing this while you have a customer in front of you, Alex. If you can have the sense of urgency without feeling desperate or having what we call commission breath, like please buy the car. That breath, they smell the commission breath, and then that puts them off. Commission breath doesn't smell like roses and mints, right? Commission's breath smells like greed and and torture,
Desperation.
desperation.
Please.
Exactly. So if you can have a sense of urgency built within your being at the car lot, then the right words will come out to where the customer doesn't want to leave without the car deal, because time is the number one killer. Now there's other things too.
Oh,
Uh,
there's multiple factors for sure.
yeah, but time is the biggest one. So when a customer leaves, I always told myself, if a customer leaves, I've lost them. And when I put that pressure on myself, it made me perform better on the car lot because, oh, we're gonna look around. I lost him. We need to
Yeah.
go have lunch. I lost him. We're gonna go pick up our kid from school. I lost him. I did at first I believed him when I was new, like you. Oh, boss, no, they're just gonna go get their kid and then they're gonna grab some and then they're gonna and my boss is like, right. Oh,
Great. Gone.
oh, sure. Right. But in my head, as a new salesperson, I believed it because why would
Great.
someone lie to me? I was new to that. I wasn't raised to lie to people. But why would they lie to me? They're going to come back. No, they're not because I lost them. So as I matured in the car business, I realized time is the killer. So if you're going to write something down, write down time. Um, Time is the number one killer. The second one is information. Time and then information. Now, information can be too much information or too little information. Do you think you could give me an example of too much information?
Too much information. So like normally, like, like I greet the customer, whether it be through an appointment or a walk-in or an up. You don't like, but what I've learned like after my first week on the floor was less is more. Like I'll open up the doors, open up the trunk, pop it open. Um, I'll give them the walk around of the car, and my first week I was kind of nervous or whatever. So like I would start pointing out like, oh no, it has the 19-inch wheels, it has this, it has that. And if if you happen to be doing a Costco run and you forget your hands are full or whatever, and we have the walk away tailgate closing. So like once you walk away, it automatically locks or it'll close. And like I'll just be overwhelming them with so much information that it's like it's less is more, where it's just like you let them feel, you let them if they have questions, I'll be able to answer appropriately with all the, the proper information regarding what their question was. So less is more. Um, and even details to the test drives that I've noticed. And there's one thing that I've learned very quickly.
Hmm.
And, before, actually being on the floor was on the test drive, talk about everything but the car. Like, don't even talk. Like, if like let them get the feel. Like right before the test drive, like I always listen to your podcast. You always told me, find that one street or that one little route where they can get a really good feel of the car. And they'll get the feel of the car and they'll reciprocate to my, like they'll be like, wow, you were so right. Like it really feels great on this road or on this stretch. And like I just try to keep it as minimal as possible where like you don't want to overwhelm the customer with too much information, too much blah, like you don't want to talk their ear off either. Like they're making a major purchase.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my main point for
Yeah,
like,
too much information. It can be too much information about the car, too much information about yourself. I have salespeople that love talking about themselves, and they don't actually move the deal forward.
right.
Too much information on about the numbers. Some people just care about what is my down payment, what's my payment going to be. You don't need to go into every single penny, every single incentive, every single. So sometimes too much information can be a silent deal killer because you think I'm doing the right things. They're looking like, okay, yeah, this is great information, but in their head, they've only retained 5% of it. They're confused now, and when they're confused, what do they say?
I'll be back.
Yes, I got to go think about it.
Yeah, I'll think about it. I'll go talk to my wife. I'll go talk to, I'll have to do this or I have to do that. And
Yeah,
that's
I
what
got
I've
to do
learned.
some
Once
research.
I think I've had like a 5% retention. Like when a customer says I'll be back, like I think like maybe 5% of them actually came back.
Yeah, it's low. It's low.
It's
And
very
awesome, and it's great when they do come back because it's a pleasant surprise. But you
yeah.
can't count on it. You have to cut that as a business loss. I lost that customer. If they surprise me, awesome. But if you can do the business loss, it helps with your mentality too, your psychological well-being of, man, why did they ghost me? Why aren't they calling me? Why? Because you lost them. You lost that customer. So too much information can be a silent killer, and then not enough information can be a silent killer, right? So here's one of the things that you can use, and I know you've heard it in my podcast because there's over 100 episodes now of of customer. You guys test drive the car, likes the car, but you don't have the right word tracks to get him in to work the numbers. And so the customer is nervous about coming in to work the numbers because they feel like you're going to apply the pressure. So they end up saying, I'm gonna go think about it, and we'll get back to you after the test drive, right? Well, how can they get back to you and think about it when they don't have really any information about the buying part of the process? So not enough information can be a deal killer too. So when the word tracks that will help there was, hey, before you leave, I want to make sure when you're going home to think about it, you have all the right information to make an educated decision. Whether you buy the car here or not today, at least let me put it on paper. So when you guys are at home budgeting and going over the numbers, you can determine, okay, I like the car, I liked Alex, and hey, the numbers work. Now you have all the information to do it. No pressure, not asking you to buy it. Let me at least finish doing my job and get you the information so you can go home and make that educated decision. Fair? Okay, that's fair because you gave them a loophole out, whether you buy it or not. That's the loophole. The time to apply pressure to close a deal is not in between the test drive and the paperwork and the numbers. So you can use these little loophole comments to get them to your desk. You apply the pressure after you've done the credit app. You've milked them the whole way to the very end, right? And then you apply the pressure. We've come all this way. You like the car. I hope you like my service. I hope you trust the dealership. We have you a great APR. It's the payment is less than you said you wanted, and it includes an extended service policy and gap. It's literally everything you meant to come in and do, and now you want to go home and think about it. Am I missing something? This is when you can apply the pressure when you've gotten to that point.
Right.
Because if you apply pressure too early, there's too many steps after that for them to say, I'm going to go think about it. But if you
Right.
apply pressure at the 99th percent of the deal and they say, all right, fair enough, all you got to do is sign and hand them to finance. They can't unthink about it. They can't use that terminology now. So getting them into the showroom to get them the information can kill the silent killer of not enough information. So you have time kills, too much information kills, too little information kills. And then there's also the a couple X factors. Obviously, you mentioned there's a tons of different silent deal killers that you may not even know. They may have a buddy that works at the Toyota store that they're actually going to go buy the car from, and they're not telling you that. So how do you overcome that? There's a lot of deal killers that will just get that will kill the deal. The other one is, do they like you? Do they like their salesperson? When was the last time you heard a customer say, "Hey, we don't like you. Can you get us another salesperson?" It doesn't happen very often.
No, it's very rare.
Yeah, one every 10 years maybe. Maybe. So if that's never said, do you think every customer gets along perfectly with every salesperson?
No, for sure not. No. I mean,
No.
no, like they're always gonna find something. They won't say it out loud. They won't,
Hmm.
right? You know what I mean? Like they won't tell you to your face, but there's always gonna be something that a customer might find unappealing or like, like their approach is different or aggressive
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
And sometimes you just don't click. When I was young, when I was in the early 20s, and the guys that came in the Escalades with the fancy watches and the pretty wife and the daughter that was my age, I had nothing in common with them. I had 8 cents in my bank account. I was just trying to sell a Ford, right? They have money, credit, they got good looks, they got daughters that are, beautiful. Like everything is perfect with them. I didn't click with that customer, and I knew I didn't click with it. So what I would do is I would try my best. I didn't give up or say, no, you take the up. I would still take the up. I would go as far as I could until I realized I don't click with this person and I need to turn it. So silent deal killers could be they just don't get along with you. They don't trust you. There's something about you that doesn't click.
Just they just don't resonate like as soon as walking through the door, right? Because I mean, like
Exactly.
your first impression with the dealership is like your first interaction with the appointment, right? So essentially, like if you don't have that first initial bond, or not, I'm not gonna say a bond, but like like that first good start, like it's a silent deal killer. Like it,
Yeah.
like
So it could be you. So also perfecting you is a thing. Do you have a smile on your face? Do you smell good? You know what I mean? Are you clean cut or at least trimmed? All these little things, a customer judges us harder than we'll ever judge them.
oh, 100%.
Yeah, so the silent dealer killer for the whole thing, they could love the payment, love everything, but they just can't stand you. Now, I'm not saying you personally, I'm just saying in general, right? You
Kyle,
seem
that's not a personal attack, is it?
I'm attacking Alex. What I'm saying is you just never know as a salesperson if you're clicking with that customer.
Right, of course, of course.
So if everything's going right, the numbers are right, but they're just not pulling the trigger, it could be a you thing. And then that's when you could turn to your manager and say, I don't know if it's a me thing. I'm just not clicking. There's something that they're not saying because they like the payment, they like the trade, they like the vehicle, they like everything, but they're not pulling the trigger. Hey, boss, my ego is not too big to ask for help. Can you come talk with these customers and maybe just put that final nail in the deal and get it? So it could be a you thing. That's why when dealerships have really lax dress codes, I still recommend being at the highest level of that lax dress code, right? If you have, and I've seen dealerships that they allow tennis shoes, they allow like golf shorts. If it's, you're in Texas, you're not wearing black slacks. You kind of need shorts.
Yeah.
And then a polo, which is, I think, a great look. But you don't
Yeah.
want to be the guy that has the dirty tennis shoes, the cargo shorts or the golf shorts that are ratted and tatted, and they have a hole over here and it's torn. There's a string hanging by the knee, and then the polo shirt that's too small because we put on some weight and now it's stretched at the belly. Like you, you know what I mean?
Well, no, I mean, listen, like your first impression is your lasting impression, right?
Yeah,
So, I mean,
exactly.
obviously, like I've always tried to be on point because, like I said, like I've been in the food service industry, food and beverage and stuff like that. So, like a first impression is a lasting impression. So, like I'm always trying to make
Yeah. And
point.
exactly. And if you notice if you wear a watch or you have some decent looking shoes or whatever, the customer why not even the first impression, halfway through the process when you're sitting down, they'll start dissecting your watch, your wedding ring, things like that. They're looking at your hair, they're looking at the shine on your shoes. you'll notice like, oh my gosh, this guy is literally, or this woman is picking me apart to see who they're doing business with. So looking the part, whether you're, like I said, whether your dress code is low at your dealership or a suit and tie, you just want to be the highest of that code. Now, if your dealership allows, shorts and all that stuff, and you're wearing a tuxedo to work, that's too much. Like who's the freak in the tuxedo? Right? But those little things I found out in my 24 years in the car business can be deal killers because I've watched people that have the gift of gab. They can speak. They're great. They're just amazing people, but they don't shower every day. They dress terrible. They're untucked. All these things, and then it's like you have the ability to sell 20 cars a month, but you're selling 5 to 8 because you just don't have the appearance of what customers want to deal with. So that could be a silent killer. We'll keep moving on because you have some other great topics, but
Right.
did you have any silent killer things that you wanted to discuss?
S I wouldn't really call them silent killers. Within my first month, I've had a lot of people come in with trade-ins, and I only sell new cars. I don't sell I don't do appraisals on used, and I don't sell used. So I have a coworker that works in the used department, and he does all the appraisals and stuff like that. So I had two customers that like I remember off the top of my head who had came in and they had, 2016s or 2017 models, like kilometers were like within range, within average. And I wouldn't call them silent killers. Like I said, they overvalued their trade-in vehicles. Like I never told like I'm never straightforward. Like I always ask the customer, like, what do you think your trade-in is worth? And like I'll try to get it within that range. And then eventually, like it'll boil down to like, since like I'm relatively new, like I end up like, like telling them, okay, so we can give you X amount for your trade-in. And then they'd be like, oh, well, I can just sell it privately and I can end up getting like, like $3,000, $4,000 more. And I said, yeah, you're absolutely right. You probably could. That's probably the deal killer right there. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's like, do you want to deal with the Facebook marketplace? Do you want to deal with, having people coming by 2 o'clock in the afternoon and then like them hassling you or like or so on and so forth. Like I mean, it's people's lives are busy. Like people are very busy,
Yeah.
and like is like does the time invested equate to that extra amount of money that you could potentially make, and then having to go to the in the States the DMV or whatever, then do the registration and this and that and the proceeds of the sale. Whereas at the dealership, I mean, yeah, you're not going to get 100% value on the dollar that you're trading in your car for. But I mean, we're getting into a brand new car today,
Yeah,
and
that's
no
that's
paperwork you have to deal with, right? So I wouldn't call it a silent killer, but those are the two things that popped up this month that, like, it just kind of broke a deal for me.
Yeah, that can be tough. Trade-ins are always tough because even us as car people, we want more for our trade. I mean,
Of
we know
course,
the
everybody
business.
does.
We know
Everybody.
the business. So what I always did with those people is rerouted them to, okay, so you don't like your trade-in. Do you like the car you're buying? Yeah. Okay. Do you like the service I've provided so far? Yeah, we like you, Alex. Okay. So let me try to figure out, and this works great with payment customers is if there's 9 things that you really like about it, the whole deal, and only one that you don't, that's a 90% like buying experience. That's pretty darn good. And then
Yeah.
sometimes you can use that to kind of get over that last hump, but you got to point out some good things like the interest rate's good, the price is good, the payment is good. You like the car, you like me, all these things, and there's just one that you don't. I think that's still considered a good deal. Now, if it was like 5 things bad, 5 things good, 50%, I'll let you walk. But 9 things good, 1 thing bad, that's a good deal in my eyes. And if you're saying that the payment and the rate is good, then what if I gave you too much for your trade and your payment was still too high? Like, okay, I love the value of my trade. It's so high, but the payment's $400 too much, right? Now you like the trade in, but now you don't like the payment. So that 10% moved over here. Like
Right.
and you can use some of that verbiage to get over the trade. If it's a cash buyer and it's truly the out the door, obviously there's a little bit of a grind there. But that word track you had about selling at private party. It's not just the hassle of doing it nowadays, it's the danger of doing it.
Right. That also factors into.
There's a danger in selling your car private party now, especially a car as nice as yours. You're going to have a stranger you've never met get into your personal property, your personal space, and possibly danger you or whoever just to make a little bit more. No, thank you. I don't think you know the dangers nowadays. Oh, yeah, we don't want to deal with the danger. You just never know what will trigger that to be like, yeah, we'll sign. As long as you have that path. But you can't close them unless you have the payment, unless you got them that far.
Right.
You got to get them that far to be able to drop that close. And then they're like, all right, fine. Where do I sign? You know what I mean?
Right.
All right, let's move on. So this one's called Building Authority. How do I create authority and trust quickly when I don't have years of experience or a big client base yet? So building authority, I feel like the fastest way for a new guy to build authority is to know your process from front to back at your dealership and know your product front to back. If you want instant confidence and instant convincibility, you need to know your stuff. You don't have to have all the perfect word tracks yet because you've been in the car business a month. That takes time. Um, and your mouth and your tongue is actually muscle memory. The more times I've said the same word tracks with customers, the smoother and more convincing it came out. But when you're brand new, the only thing you can do is learn your process. Okay, boss, when I get a customer, I sit them down. What's the first thing I need to do? You need to log them into CRM. Okay, so I'm going to log them into CRM. After that, what do I need to do? You need to get a credit app. Okay, get a credit app. Okay, what after that? You come see me. Like you need to make sure you have that so dialed that when you have a customer coming in, like, hey, it doesn't take very long because it truly doesn't, because you know the system. I may be new, but I'm not stupid. Come on down. We're gonna get you logged in. Did you guys want to put it? Here's a trial close. Did you want to put it in both your names or just one or the other? No, we do it in both. Okay, perfect. You're logging it in. There's a small trial close. You just planted a seed of doing it. Is the trade in both names? So when I do your trade paperwork in finance, or when he does it in finance, when you're signing for the car, is both your name on the trade? Oh, it's just on his name. There's another trial close, right? You're logging it in. Let me get your driver's license. Okay. Do you have your insurance while you're there? The bank will need that when we send them the deal. Okay, perfect. You're not saying a close. All you're doing is like you're nudging them to the pool.
You're pushing them in the right direction.
Yeah, you're just pushing them to the pool because they're scared to jump in. They are all scared.
Of course.
And then all of a sudden at the end, all you got to do is go boop, and they fall in because they've gotten to that very, very edge, right? You ever gamble? Go to the casinos?
Not very often, but yeah, every once in a while, like
Same thing. I don't
on a
gamble too
blue
much.
moon.
You know the one where you put the coin in and it falls in the back and that thing pushes the coins to the edge?
Yeah, yeah, like the Plinko.
Yeah, and it's like that, and it's like, and then you're like, all these coins are hanging over, and then finally it's like, and then they all fall in.
Right.
Yeah, that is what you need to look at a car deal like. If I don't just put a little tidbit at a time, a little test drive, a little make them laugh, let's put the car seat in the new car, see if it fits. All these little coins you're putting in are pushing that customer to the very edge. And the final one is like, hey, we've come this far. You're 99% there. All I need is one last signature. Do you really want to do this again? Okay. Okay, so building authority, back to that, is knowing your process. So you kind of understand what I'm saying there?
Yeah, of course. I completely understand. It's basically it's the process of getting comfortable in your own personal routine or the steps of the sales.
Hmm.
Like, you just have to basically, I mean, the more customers that you see, the more walk-ins, the more appointments that you're taking, the more natural it feels. That's for me personally, that's how I felt like after like my second or third week. Um, I just became more comfortable. I mean, obviously, like it's, like being in the business for less than a month or at a month at this point. It's just basically it's habitual, just like anything else that you do. Like the
Yes.
more you practice, the more you do it, the more comfortable you become with it, the more natural it seems. And like my first 2 weeks, like I was really trying to use the process. I'm like, oh, it's my second week. Like, oh, I just finished my week of training, or I just finished this. Like, I'm new. Like, please bear with me. And like,
Yeah.
like a lot of things that I've been learning that, like, like leaving your desk. Like, you don't want to leave your desk too often. You want to be confident. You want to be able to, like you said, they want to be dealing with a professional. So
Yes.
those
And you,
first 2 weeks for me were definitely like I tried to milk it as much as possible as being the newbie, but eventually, like you can only use that line so often. It only lasts so long. So yeah, no, but by like week 3, week 4, like you had mentioned, like it's just learning your process, just learning
yes.
the right things to say at the right times, leading them in the right direction. And I mean, they're buying a car should be exciting, right? Like you had
Yeah.
all said, like buying a car should be a fun experience because I'm a car guy myself, and a majority of people that are, shopping out for cars, they probably enjoy their cars too, right? Just like I do. Uh,
Yep.
and I get excited like every time I buy a car, like it should be a fun experience, and that's what I'm starting to learn like within my first month. And only because of what you've been providing for all of us.
Yeah. Thank you.
And it's huge. It's fun. It's exciting. You know what? It's just it's I'm really stoked to be in this industry right now. And the building authority is like it's like you don't want like somebody inexperienced leading you through their experience, right? Like you want somebody who has, that authority. Like
Yeah.
they'll
And
guide
it's a
you,
good
they'll guide you
authority.
through the process like a hot knife through butter. Like you just want it
Yeah.
to be nice and smooth, right?
Yeah. It's a good authority, not that alpha male authority.
No,
Like,
no, 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 no,
hey, you
absolutely.
guys sit here, da da da. You understand the difference. The authority for a new guy will come in knowing the process and knowing the product. Now, knowing the product, we've talked about this earlier, is too much information versus not enough information. Just because you know the product like the back of your hand doesn't mean you have to spew it out. But knowing it will create authority because a customer that's been buying cars for 50 years and you've been selling cars for a month, he's bought more cars than you've sold at this point in your career, right? So in theory, he may know more about Lexus if or whatever brand you're selling if you've sold, you know, four and he's bought 30. But where you come in is to know your stuff. Like, hey, so we have a 2016. What's new in the 2026? Like, wow, it's 10 years of difference. There's actually quite a few things. The platform changed, the frames changed, the suspensions changed. Now it's still that beautiful ride quality that you're used to, but they've managed to be able to squeeze out more fuel economy, more technology, more power, more torque, better ride, more amenities, and still barely keep the price, not much more than you paid, 5, 10 years ago. Whatever you got to say, obviously, but and then you can go into detail. So the one you have is the 4.7 liter. This is now the whatever with this much horsepower and torque, what are the biggest things that you like about your car? Well, we like that it has 3 rows. We get the grandkids back there, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so did yours have the power third row fold or was it manual? Oh, ours was the manual. Okay, now the new ones, it's power fold third row. The second row now folds down power and it's that complete flush. It's not at an angle. At an angle, your groceries want to slide down to the back of the lift gate when you open it, whereas now it's completely flat and your groceries will stay put. Plus, they have all these cargo hooks on the side and accessories. They have these cargo nets that will hold it. So, like, it's not, and that's a small detail, right, Alex? Just the folding seats, but it's the way you're presenting it and knowing these facts and asking the customer, "What do you like about your car?" Because who controls the conversation?
We control the conversation.
The one who's asking
The questions.
the questions. So if you're asking them questions about their trade, what exactly do you like about your vehicle and that you want to go to the newer version of that? Oh, we like the
Right.
ride quality, we like this, we like that the grandkids, and then you can build off that because now you have the power because you've asked the questions, you know what they like, and now you can build that authority even though you're new. Now it'll start coming naturally when you start learning, the car business after a year or two, and you're like, what do you want to know? Ask away. Try to stump me. What's the horsepower? Da da da. What's the torque? Boom, boom, boom. Man, you are good, Alex. I'm like, listen, I love the car business through and through. I love cars myself, and I'm gonna help you get your new car today. And that is like music to a customer's ears. Oh, I'm
For
with
sure.
the right guy.
100%. 100%. It's all about controlling. the customer in the situation.
Hmm.
You have to lead them to where they want to be.
Yeah. And you're
That's
not
what I'm
even
starting to learn.
you're not even like physically controlling them. What you're doing is
No,
you're setting up this little course that they get to enjoy through, and then all of a sudden at the end they're buying a car. But you created the course. You created the test drive where we're going to go. Hey, we're going to go here. I really want you to try the four-wheeler drive. So when we get to this hill, I'm going to have you put it in there. And I want you to hit the fuel hard. I want you to hit the gas hard because I want you to see that most vehicles will slip, 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 and then finally catch. And then ours is just like rocket ship straight up because it's now. It knows not to slip. It knows that, hey, I'm in four-wheel drive. It's go time. Because slipping in four-wheel drive on a steep hill in the snow could be dangerous.
yeah, absolutely.
And this is safety first. So building authority is those two things. Obviously, there's more, knowing the numbers, knowing this, knowing that. But for a new guy, product knowledge and your procedure and you'll do great. All right. Any questions there?
I think we pretty much covered it right there for building authority. Yeah, no, it's very helpful for sure.
Yeah. Another thing too that helped me as I got older in my career was I started thinking like more than just a salesperson. I wanted to be a sales manager so bad in my career. I started thinking like a sales manager. How would a sales manager take care of these customers? And you ever notice has your sales manager ever come out and closed deals?
He's helped me close out two of my deals since I'm
Okay.
at green.
And have has he talked to your customers prior to closing, like, greeting them or
Well, normally, like I mean, like no, like I would be handling the customers, and like if I felt that like I'm reaching like a point where like they're yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
know, and I'm like, okay, just give me a second. Let me see what I could do for you guys. Let me speak to my sales manager. My sales manager, I'd go to his table and I'd explain the situation to him. Okay, so they're iffy on this or they're iffy on that. Like, oh, they can close out the deal for me because they'll close out the deal. They'll sign today, take the car if I can get them winter tires. Like little things like that. Like where like I'm so new, where like I don't know, like where I can grant certain things. You So
just
like
always keep it
I don't want to be
simple.
like yes, yes, no problem, no problem, and then like promise them the world, and then like my sales manager's giving me shit afterwards. But like
But
yeah,
you
like circumstances like that where like I would follow up with him and he would come over and then he'd introduce himself and okay, so how can we help you guys get you into a new car today, yada yada
Yeah.
yada, and he would lead the way, and then he always told me like once I come over to your desk, just stand there, I'll sit down in your chair, I'll talk to the customers, don't say a word.
Yeah. But at least you got to see him in action. So
Right.
so you can just tell there's just something different about his presence. It's not he hasn't even opened his mouth yet, but the way he walks up to the customer, the way he
Right.
sits down, the way he shakes their hands, just his presence. And then he opens his mouth. If he's a good sales manager, he opens his mouth and the customers are just like, yeah, what do we need to do? What do we need to do? They're just in almost a trance, not in a bad way, but a good way. But when I was in sales, I wanted to be that so bad. So I thought, why can't I do that while I'm in sales? Start having that feeling of like,
That
hey,
presence.
I got some authority here. I've been here 10 years. How can I help you buy a car? I'm gonna help you buy a car today. Those little verbiages that you kind of toss in like salt and pepper. Um, like your manager did. How you guys doing? Everything going good? It's like that authority.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
Alex treating you guys good? Have you had a good experience so far? Like, why can't salesmen say those things? You don't want to be awkward about it, but if you want to establish some authority, you can say things like that. I hope up until this point, up to this desk, up to sitting here with working numbers, you've had a great experience with me so far. Oh, Alex, you're great. Oh, thank you. I just want to make sure that can I get you guys any waters? Is there anything I can get you? Like, wow, who is this guy? Yeah, we want to buy a car from him because
Yeah,
he's
that's honestly that's another thing too is like as soon as the walk around, as soon as the test drive is done, right before we get to the desk, it's always coffee, water. Can I get you guys anything? And then I'll reframe it like you want to create that good atmosphere when they're purchasing a car, right?
Yep, exactly. That's like the management things. Okay, moving on to social media that actually converts. What specifically turns social media attention into actual appointments and sales in today's market? Okay, so I'm on social media a lot. I don't post all the time because it's just I know I have Poor2Pro. I should be posting like 50 times a day, but I got I got a lot of things on my plate, and I don't have a social media manager to do it for me. So, but what I know that converts are a few things. And you probably see this online. A lot of people are doing dances now in the car business. A lot of girls are doing the dances. They're
Right.
doing funny stuff. And that's cool because you never know which one might go viral. And a viral video as a car salesman would probably get you some deals.
Oh, for sure.
But if you actually look at the views and the interactions of those videos, it's pretty low. You scroll, 3 views, da da da, 2 hearts. So like the dancing, the this and that's, and it's not everything can go viral,
No.
right? If everything went viral, then nothing's viral. So, so what I would do a car guy to separate is actually talk about a deal on a specific vehicle. So if you and here's what you have to aim it towards. You have to aim it towards a real scenario that a customer has. What are some of the big ones that we deal with? They're upside down, right? Customers upside down. They have too much negative equity. Payments too high on the current car. Bad fuel economy, or they're having problems. So if you can solve some of these problems in a video, you might get leads from it.
Right.
The biggest one I would do is negative equity. Everyone's upside down in their car. I know people that have the title to their car and they're still upside down.
Yeah. Fortunately, yeah, but
Yeah, they have the title and the car's broken. They're upside down. So what I would do, knowing that most people are upside down, is do a video targeting a specific vehicle on your lot. Go to your manager and say which vehicle has the absolute most rebates, like just an insane amount of rebates. One that we could do like a sacrificial lamb sale. Like, okay, that one's been in stock 300 days. It's got $12,000 in incentives and discounts. Da, 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 da. We want to get rid of it. You go out there and you make a video on that specific vehicle saying, hey, this is Alex at da 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 da. I have this vehicle. It's the ultimate negative equity killer, buster. If you have 12,000, 10,000, 15,000 in negative equity, this is the vehicle that will get you out. But I only have one in stock. Call me at this number. Let's get you a lower payment. Let's get you a better interest rate and let's get you in this new vehicle. And that, like you said, that's going to resonate with a lot of people because they're buried in their car and they want something new. They still owe 30 on it. It's worth 20 and it's starting to break down. Then you send them that video. They don't care if their payment is $1,000 a month on that car because now they have a brand new 2025 or whatever 2026 that they can get out of. So I would do specific videos on specific vehicles that solve specific problems. Another one is like, okay, Mr. Manager, which vehicle do we have in stock that has the lowest interest rate? Okay, we're doing 0% for 60 months on this car or 1.9 or whatever. You make a video on that particular car. This just in, we have a small window to capture this interest rate. It's 1.9% for 60 months. If you're paying a high interest rate and you want a similar payment on what you're paying now and lower your interest rate, come get this car. Call Alex at, I only have one in stock. It's going to go quick. I would make very specific videos. The thing is that you have to catch them right off the bat, right? So because retention now, people's attention spans are 8 seconds. I know this because I work with them.
at most.
Yeah, at most. I work with them. They ask me a question, I start answering it, and they're like, what? Because they were looking at their phone. I'm like, seriously, dude, you asked me a question, I'm answering it. It's for your customer. And you so I would say I would start the video with the what it solves. Are you buried in your car and you want out? Like fast. And then
No, no,
and then
no.
you
That's
present. So I would very specifically don't make general videos like come on down if you're looking
no, no,
at
no, no, no.
cars, trucks, those are 1990s, 1980s. I tried
You
those.
want to be, you want to be, you want to be specific to the customer, right? You want to be appealing. You want to pull them in for that one specific reason. You don't want like broad. You don't want to like.
Yeah.
You don't want to offer. You don't want to give too much, but you just want to like kind of focus in terms of social media and like what's your dealership and possibly willing or can offer, right?
Yeah. So, negative equity, a new reliable car, lower interest rate, or they're having problems with their vehicle, right? Or I might have
Yeah.
already said that. But think of a customer, a real customer scenario that you get on the lot. Our payment's too high, our interest rate's too high, I'm upside down, my car's breaking down, and make videos based on those problems because that's the most common problems that people have. And I bet if you do a video that you make funny and you're doing your dance or whatever your stuff, I don't know what you do.
I'm not, trust me, I'm so fresh. Like I'm just starting to get to the social media. I can believe me, my showroom right now it's not a showroom you want to be dancing in right now. The renovation.
You know, you can still have fun. You still want
Yeah,
to
yeah,
make a
no,
fun
for
video.
sure. You wanna make it light and fun, right?
Yeah, make a fun one and then do one that's a negative equity buster. Do another
Right.
fun one. Do one that are you tired of your car breaking down? Come check us out. Do a fun one. Do one lower your let's get your interest rate lower. Buy a better car and have a lower interest rate in the same payment. Or, and then do a fun one and you kind of just mix it up, send it out there because no social media never sleeps. I get messages at 3 a.m. It never sleeps. So your advertising can work constantly, but you have to have something.
24/7.
Yeah, you have to have something that's worth clicking and then messaging you. And then you tell them, hey, message me. I'll get you out of your negative equity. Okay.
Yeah.
And I only got one of these. I only got one. If you say all these vehicles in stock, then they're on their time frame. If you say I got one of them, then they're like, okay, I need to get a hold of them now.
Yeah.
And if it has sold, if you sell that one, then tell them that one's sold, but I found another one that will do it. And you just
Right.
constantly are just always selling these cars to these people. Social media that also converts. You remember that guy Gary V,
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
real
The
fast
exotic
talker.
the exotic cars, right? In New Jersey?
Uh, no, he does a lot of
I'm
marketing.
thinking of somebody else then.
Yeah, if you type in Gary V, you'd recognize his name. He's a real smart guy, multimillionaire. I was in a Zoom meeting with him one time, not personal, like it was just me and him. It was a bunch of people.
Right.
And he came in, he was talking about marketing for social media, and he was talking about localized marketing. So when he was talking about localized marketing, it was like you bring a car, because it was specifically for dealership, you bring a car to a place in your town that everyone recognizes. And you make a little promo video. Hey, this is Alex at da 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 da. I'm here in this beautiful town. And everyone's going to recognize, oh, shoot, that guy works in my town. Because sometimes people will make a car video and you're like, I don't even know where that guy's at. I like the car deal. And then you find out, oh, shoot, he's 13 states away. Like
Right.
that's not feasible. But if you have a video that shows a monument or something in your town that everyone knows, go pull a car up there and make a quick video. It doesn't have to be something extravagant. Just say, hey, I'm Alex, da 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 da. Here's my da da da. Here's my information. Come check out the new 2026 da 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 da. And then,
Something that resonates with the locals, something that they can like you can
yes,
they can get an attachment to. They can say like, "Oh my God, like, yeah, it's right down the road." That's,
yes. And then
right.
if you do it on a busy downtown type of day, I've told customer salespeople to do this. Not many people do because it takes guts. You go down there with a bunch of cards, you set up your camera, you start doing your video, and people are going to stop and say, "What is that?" I used to do it downtown Coeur d'Alene with the Maserati Gran Turismo. I'd go downtown, I'd go to the resort, I'd set up the car, people would instantly come around it, and I'd have my cards and brochures. How many cars did I sell from that? I'm not sure because they nec didn't necessarily ask for me, but it's the brand awareness, and you never know. They
Oh,
might
for sure.
they might take my card and say, "Hey, I'm here to see this guy who was downtown." But it's also about brand awareness in your town, and it's a local place, and there's people everywhere. I do it in the summer, tons of people. They want to sit in it, all kinds of stuff.
That's actually a really good idea. So like I consider myself kind of lucky that like well, lucky in different ways, but I consider myself lucky because in Montreal, so we have the Grand Prix once a year. So Grand Prix in Montreal, the F1 Grand Prix,
Wow.
it's a massive, massive opportunity. And for car enthusiasts and everybody. So like yeah, that would be like, something that would be a really good idea.
Yep. Just and it's localized, and you get videos, and you're passing cards out. Especially when that parking lot fills up, I would go put 1,000 business cards in every window,
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
of
still waiting on my business cards.
them.
Still waiting on those. Those are still hot in the on the press, but hopefully I can get those soon. And also another thing too, I remember you mentioning in your podcast and stuff like that is, like the merchandise, like like on my days off or whatever, like where like I'm wearing like
Mhm.
an Acura hoodie or like a t-shirt or polo or whatever. And getting those business cards and it's basically like, like putting yourself out there.
Yep.
Like those are the next steps that I'm really looking forward to because I'm very people orientated from my background in food and beverage. So like I feel that like it would be like that little extra that you could add to your arsenal,
Yeah.
right?
And you're a people person. If a people person makes the best salespeople. And if you're a good
Right.
salesman in the food industry, you're going to be a great salesman in car
Oh,
sales.
yeah, 100%.
You could sell anything. You could go door to door and sell cookies. You'd probably kill it.
As long as I'm not Girl Scout, right?
No, we got to wear a dress for
Yeah.
that. All right. So the last one you had was how do I ethically influence a customer's decision speed without creating pressure? So when I was selling Alfa Romeos right before I became a sales manager, I would tell customers, okay, and this is information I had in my head because I studied the rebates. I was the guy who had actually claimed the rebates on other salespeople. So they kind of had me doing sales manager stuff as a salesman. So I
Right.
knew them, I knew the rebates in and out. And it was so interesting that I was doing sales manager stuff for Alfa Romeo, and I happened to also be the number one Alfa Romeo salesman. It's like, ha- so Kyle knows the most about the programs, knows the most about the product, and he's the best sale. He sells the most of them. Is that a coincidence, or is he knowledgeable enough and takes the time enough to learn the programs, learn the product, and happens to now be the best salesman? I beat everybody every month. There might have been a month where someone outsold me in a Alfa Romeo Maserati, but it would have been one. Um, but it's because I was doing some of those things that sales managers do, like claiming the rebates. So I knew, okay, this rebate, if you have a competitive vehicle, you got 500 bucks. If you finance with this bank, you get 1,000. If you buy an Alfa Romeo Giulia with this package, you got another 1,500. Plus, they have the standard customer cash of 3,500. So all these things are just baking in my head, so when I'm out on the lot and the customers are asking about, hey, what are your guys' programs? I'll be like, Alfa Romeo has a ton of programs right now. The thing I need to try to do is stack them for you because a lot of times these manufacturers, they'll put all these rebates out there, but you only qualify for this one or this one, right? So my job as a professional at this dealership is to see how many I can stack before I get in trouble. And customers love that kind of stuff because
Of
what,
course they do. Who doesn't love to save money, right? Or get rebates.
yeah, and you got a guy that's looking out for them.
Yeah.
And
Build
and
a
I would
relationship.
and I would use this verbiage too, and you can go back and watch this. I would say, any money I can get from the manufacturer, I forward directly to you. Some dealerships will have all this money coming from the manufacturer, and they're like, well, let's keep a little bit of this and then we'll give the customers this. Nope, that's not how I do it. I will literally give you every penny they allow me to give you. So what that is setting up is that every penny that is available will be given to them. And a lot of times when I had that verbiage and I had the right setting, I would hold full price on the window sticker because in the customer's eyes, I'm giving them everything I can already. Why would they ask for any more when I've already built trust if
Right.
I'm already giving them everything I got because I told them? I said, I'm going to stack as many as I can until I get in trouble. Okay. And I'm going to forward every dollar I can get from the manufacturer to you. A lot of dealerships will hold some because they want to get rich, right? They want their Lamborghini. We don't do that. We're going to forward everything to you. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. Let's go see what the numbers are. Okay. I was able to stack this, this, and this. They were already stackable, right? I can't
Right.
keep the rebate money anyway. I'm giving them exactly what I'm supposed to be giving them. It's how I'm wording it. It's how I'm wording it. So when I get sit down, I'm like, okay, I was able to stack this one, and this one. Now I don't necessarily need this trade in, but do you have one of these brands? Oh yeah, we have this brand. Okay, I can add another 500. Oh my gosh, thanks, Kyle. All right. At this point now, and I would take the write up from them. I wouldn't let them stare at it because if they stare at it, they want to negotiate. I would
Right.
take the write-up from them in a nice professional way. I'd put it in my file. So now I hand this file over to finance, and it's their job to get you the very best rate and the lowest payment possible. Does that sound good? Oh yeah, that sounds great. I go in there, finance comes out. All right, we're able to get you 2.9. Your payment's 782. They look at each other because 782 is too much, but they're like, how could I say no to this? Kyle's done everything. We've already done our credit. We've done all this stuff. I don't want to do this again, honey. These are what's going in their head. And like, yeah, that sounds good, Kyle. All right, perfect. And then I get my big old fat voucher. I get a customer that's happy. I take their pictures. I post it on my social media. Everyone has won. The customer feels like they just got the best deal on the planet, which it is because if they feel that way, then it truly is.
And it
I,
truly is.
I got my voucher, my, whatever pounders. Finance got theirs. Everyone won. But I didn't have to apply pressure because I made it appealing. I
Right.
made it appealing. Do you have to tell a starving man to eat?
Absolutely not.
No, if there's food, he's going to eat, right? So
Right.
if you make it appealing enough, that customer becomes starving for that car deal. And now you don't have to apply the pressure because the pressure is needed when you haven't done enough to that point. Then you have to close them. And if you have to close a customer, then you didn't do enough to that point because hopefully you've had one of these car deals where it's like you guys clicked in the beginning. You clicked on the test drive, you clicked in your walk around and all that stuff, you clicked in the numbers, and then they just said yes to your number pencil. They're like, yeah, that sounds great. Like, there was no fight.
There was no fight, there was no pressure.
Yeah. You want to know
Right.
why? Because you did everything up into that point correctly.
Yeah.
And
Like
that's a way you can judge yourself. How many grinders am I getting a month versus laydowns? It's not luck of the draw. It's how good are you up until the point where you have to ask for the sale. That is the difference.
yeah, there's to lead up to that, like I'll give you an example. Like for this month, like we were running some really good promotions. Like if you're taking on 36 months, I can get you at 0% 0% on your lease rate. And like 0% is like it's great. On 36 months, like it's not a long-term commitment. Like you basically get out of your car and within 3 years, you can buy it back and you've been paying towards your principal or whatever.
Yeah.
And I've been really trying to like, preach that for the past week, like where like I was really dialed into like into my routine. And I would still get people like, it was 0%. It's like how much better is it gonna get at 0%, right? And like I could bring a horse to the water, but I can't force it to drink. And like it's like that was one of my struggles this week was where I had a couple of ups, and like they're looking at the ADX 2025. I can get you like $3,500 off the sticker price. I can get you at 0%. Like how much more could I possibly offer? And then it's like you get these people with the winter tires or the this or the that, and it's like I'll do what it takes to get it done, with like running it by my sales manager, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's just sometimes you get those customers where it's like no matter how good the deal is, like it's like you're paying zero interest on your lease rate. Like how much more?
Yeah. It's
And you get these customers where it's like I said, like I'm not new to sales, but I'm new to car sales where it's like no matter how good the deal is, like you'll just get those customers where it's like it's never gonna be good enough. Like you just basically want to give them the car for free, just hand them the keys and like don't sign any paperwork, just go home. Here's the car. Like it's yeah, the
they're
the
still not happy. They leave a
yeah.
bad survey.
Yeah, like it's like I only had a couple of those customers this week, and it was the first one for my first month. But no, honestly, like you are right about like you just have to lead. Like, you just have to make that whole process pressure free, and you have to show them like the true value that you are giving them on the car, right?
Yeah. And thing too, if you have high pressure, then you may not see that customer again.
No,
And a successful new car guy has a lot of repeat and referral. So you have to always play it cool. Even if you are applying pressure, you can say things like, hey, the only reason I'm asking all these questions is because I want to make sure that I'm selling you the right vehicle and it's the right deal for you. I'm not trying to apply pressure on you. You always say that. I'm not trying to apply pressure. I just want to make sure I'm asking the right questions before you either buy or don't. And then you can kind of backtrack some of the pressure. But but the way you ethically do it, and that's a good word to use because that's how you get repeat customers is by the ethical influence for that customer that's like you give them everything, they still don't want it. It's because it came too easy for them. You made it too easy.
Right.
Some of those customers you have to say, I don't know what incentives are actually going to be able to apply to you. It determines by zip code, it determines by city, it determines by if you have a trade-in. The incentives are based on a lot of factors. And I don't know if you're going to get the full 3,500 just because it's advertised. If you look at the fine print at the bottom of the commercial, it says subject to, subject this, based on there's a lot of those verbiages. So I don't even know if I can get you the 3,500 bucks and the 0%. It may be one or the other. And now those people that are, that nothing makes them happy are they're hopeful, like, well, hopefully we can get both. Well, it said you can get both. I said, I understand it said that you can get both, but if you look at the fine print, there's always the based on it, subject to all these things. And if you don't meet those criteria, then the factory doesn't have to to give it to you. Another thing too, Mr. Customer, the reason why there's factory incentives on vehicles is because the factory, the main mothership is saying, "Oh my gosh, there's too many of these on the lots. We need to set a certain amount of money aside to get rid of these." That money can disappear. Once that rebate money is gone, because they've moved enough of them to get back to the healthy number of inventory, it'll be gone just like that. I'll run the incentive on that VIN number. It's like, where did it go? Because it's also based on they can change the time anytime they want. It's their
Of
money.
course they can. Yeah, of course.
So I don't even know if this car still qualifies for that. Oh, well, can we check? Is there a way to check? Like, yeah, well, first we got to drive, make sure you even like it. Okay, fair enough. And then if it's stackable, I'll stack as much as I can until I get in trouble. And then you make them laugh a little bit. And then now they're back on that hopeful, I hope Alex can do this for me. And then you can say, okay, we talked with the factory. There's a little bit left. They say there's within a week's supply. So you might want to strike fast on this. Um, but we can stack the 0% and the 3,500 bucks. But you got to strike fast because they're both going away pretty quick because they've sold enough of these vehicles. But it says till the end of the month. Yeah, but if you read the fine print, they can change their mind in the middle of the month because they're out
And
of.
nobody reads the fine print, right?
Yeah, and the rebate money that is set aside is not just infinite. They allocate a certain amount of rebate money for these particular vehicles to get the inventory low. Once they get the inventory low, they turn the rebates off because they don't need to give money out anymore. And sometimes that can help with that customer that no matter what you do, they're just not happy. I'll give you
Right.
free tires, I'll give you 0%, I'll give you 3,500 bucks. Instead of saying those things, you can say, I don't know if I can give you any of it. I got to see if you even qualify for it.
You have to make them, you have to really make them feel like they're getting that deal. And it's not just like for anybody that walks through the door, right?
Hmm.
You have to make them feel
Exactly.
like they're getting that like that preferential treatment. Like they're oh,
Yes.
like, well, yeah, you have to make them, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. And then you say, have you ever owned our brand before? That's a big factor on some of these incentives.
Yeah.
Loyal customers get more money. Have you owned the brand? Well, no. So I don't even know if I can get you any of the rebates if you've never owned the brand.
Yeah, like we were offering the loyalty rebate for this month. It was an extra 1% off of
Yeah.
whatever we were offering. Like if we were offering at the 0.99, you're a loyalty customer, then I can get you at 0%.
Yes. So it's not about sharing the information on the incentives. It's just knowing it and then being able to manipulate the verbiage,
How to play it to them.
how to play it. It's everything's like poker, man. You got to have
Hmm.
your poker face on,
Yeah.
and
That's
and
one thing
you're
about it.
yeah, and you're more believable if you've created that authority. And the only way you get the authority is by having the product knowledge and the process knowledge, because you can't look like a buffoon in front of these customers,
No.
right?
Because I think once you look like the buffoon, I think they're
Yeah,
gonna
you
be
lose
yeah,
them.
the back train. Yeah.
And think about your brand that you're selling. They're not buffoon customers. I mean, no customer really is a buffoon, but you know what I'm saying? They're a lot of the customers that I get that are highly educated, you can't be a buffoon. You got
No.
to know. I mean, when I'm selling a $200,000 Maserati back when I was, dude, you have to know the tire pressure.
Absolutely,
These
100.
guys are car guys.
Yeah, you have to be on your game, right?
Yes, exactly. So,
Every day.
so let's just recap, and then I think we hit an hour. Goes by
Or
fast.
I lost track of time, so you tell me.
It's crazy, huh? So invisible deal killers, time, not enough information, too much information, or they possibly don't like you, you're not clicking.
Right.
Right? So that's when getting a turn can help. Just doesn't have to split the deal with another salesman. You just get a manager involved and help. Like, hey, I'm at the point where I need some help. And if you can use that to the end of your career, you can be in the car business 30 years and still turn it and feel good about it because
Right.
sometimes the same thing is being said, it's just a different person and it seals the deal. And then building authority. You don't have to have tons of experience to have authority. You just need to know your product inside and out. Have you ever been impressed by a salesperson when you were buying something?
Couple times.
Cell phones, couches, TVs.
Probably my last car purchase before I got into the business.
Yeah, okay. So there's a good example. Like, so if you think about this, how many bad salesmen are out there versus how many good? What do you think the ratio is if you were to guess?
I'm gonna have to say there's probably a lot more worse car salesmen than there are good salesmen. I,
Yeah.
I would say for sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's not because they're bad people. They're
No,
just
they
bad.
just
They're bad at their career because they don't care. They're just there to get a check. And those are the people that go dealership to dealership for their whole careers. They stay a few months, they don't like it, they go somewhere else because they're searching for something when the answer is, I need to change what's inside of me, right? And you're doing that now. And that's amazing that you're setting yourself up for success now. And then social media, we'll just kind of recap converts, pick a specific vehicle that's been in stock for a zillion years and promote it for negative equity or need a more reliable car. Just kind of alternate, try to get something viral. But I promise you, the negative equity will probably get you some. And don't just do one, make multiple, post them
right,
every other day. Like, hey, and you can do post the same video if you want, although the algorithm doesn't like it. But you could go back to that car. Hey, just letting you guys know, I still have this, da 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 da. If you're $12,000 flipped or less or 15, come get it. This will get you out of it. And then ethically influence customers' decision speed without creating pressure. If you did it right to the desk, you're going to make more sales. And what's cool about being new is you're going to run into the scenarios where you're going to learn lessons. You lost the deal, but then you can recap overnight and be like, oh, okay, I know where I screwed up. Um, but the key too is to minimize as many losses as you possibly can and
right.
get help. Don't let your customer leave without touching the desk and getting a manager involved.
No, I learned that the hard way. Like I said, like it's my first month. That's the one thing that I've noticed is like there's like okay, we'll be back. And I had a couple of those, and I'm just like 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 shit.
Yeah, yeah. They get
I,
up real quick.
yeah, and it's like I said, it's my first month, so it's still a learning process. So
Yep,
those are uh, those are some things that I'm really going to try to focus on over my next month.
yep. And then just real quick too, when you get a customer that says, um, shoot, what was the objection you just said? My brain just totally fried. You
My
just said it.
my brain just totally fried too. We'll be back, or like
Yeah, we'll be back. Oh
back.
my goodness, we'll be back. Okay, so here's your rebuttal to it. I said, listen, I've been in the car business long enough to know that when a customer says we'll be back, I basically lost them. There's a 3% chance in this car business that you actually come back. So statistically, when I hear that, Mr. Customer, and this is when you can level with them, right? That you're leveling with them. You're using a different tone. This is off the record type talk.
Right,
This is how you kind of present it to them. Statistically, when a customer says they're not coming back, I've lost them. I didn't do something right. So before you leave, because I'm going to just fry my brain tonight, why didn't I just ask them this question while they were here? Might as well just ask why you're here. Is there anything that I've done that have offended you? Is it something about the car? Is it the pricing, the rebates, the down payment, your trading? Is there something specific that we can point to that at least I can go home and say, okay, it wasn't my fault. And they'll be like, well, Alex, you've been great. We really like the car. We just don't have the 2000 down. I know the bank said they wanted the 2000. We just don't have it. We can afford the payment. We just don't have the 2000. Oh, okay. So really, it's not that, I'm losing the car deal that you're going to be back.
It's
They
something, it's something beyond your control.
Yes, but them saying they were going to be back is a lie because they can't come back until they have the 2000.
Right.
They may never have the 2000 because they're living paycheck to paycheck. But now at least you have something that you can bring to your manager and say, "Hey, just don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Knowing this information, I'm going to try something." Okay, they sit back down. You got more minutes? Yep. Okay. I finally got to the bottom of it, Mr. Sales Manager. They don't have the 2000. Is there any way we can make this deal work without the 2000? They're like, "Well, the bank said, well, let me take a look." Okay. You think they can come up with 500? Okay. If they get 500, we'll make it work. You go back. Mr. Customer, I have a way to go, but it's like a right now type of deal. Do you think you can come up with 500 bucks? You won't have a car payment on for your trade-in this month, so you could use that 500. Yeah, we could do 500. Even if you got to call grandma, I don't care who you call. Can you get 500 bucks? We could do 500. Okay, give me 1 second. You go back. All right, they got the 500. Okay, the payment changed a little bit. You go out there with your hand, done, 500 bucks. And they're like, "Really?" Like, "Yeah, I've done so many car deals based on that final exchange when they were going to say I'll be back, and I say, 'Hey, can I just level with you kind of off the record?' And I go over that same thing. I find out what the actual objection is because I don't want to go home tonight and say, 'Man, I tried so hard with this customer, but I just couldn't figure out what made the car deal.' When I could just ask you right now, what is it on this that's not making the car deal? Oh, we can't afford the 550 payment. Okay, what can you afford? 499 was the max. You do the same process.
Same process.
What you're doing is you're doing your final Hail Mary. You're just trying to make that final throw because a lot of times your managers will find it. They'll find it. Now you
Right.
don't work your managers because that's how you lose money, but this is the final Hail Mary that to save a deal because when they say they're going to think about it and come back, they're not. Just always remember that. You have to make the deal right now. So hopefully
Yeah.
that verbiage will help next time you hear it,
Oh, for sure. It definitely will, for sure.
kind of off the record. Anything else you want to add? Do you have any questions or anything?
No, honestly, Kyle, I think that pretty much covers everything. I mean, those are the main things for my first month that I kind of wanted to just discuss and go over with you.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like I think today's session was really beneficial. Like I said, those are the four things that I've been thinking about since I
They're
first started.
great.
As soon as I started at the dealership, I'm like, you know what? After my first month, I'm gonna do a session with Kyle so I can do like almost like a month in review.
Yep.
But yeah, like okay, sorry, I completely forgot. So to roll back to the last Hail Mary. So I had a client this week that I'm delivering tomorrow
Yeah.
on her new car. So basically, her trade-in was a 2016 Audi A4, like a terrible shape. Brakes needed to be done,
Mm.
cracked front bumper or whatever. And my appraiser basically said, like, I'll give them 1,500, but they'd gone to another accurate dealership within my area. And they had offered 2,000. I said, listen, I can't go back there and say I'm going to give them 1,500 or whatever. So I took 500 out of the new car, and then I put it towards the trade-in or whatever. So like call that like a Hail Mary, I guess you would say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just anything to get that deal done, right? I mean, it's a little less money in my pocket, but at the end of the day, it's a sale. It's my first month. And I'm a team player too. Like, listen, like I know it was kind of a slow month for us at the dealerships. So like, an extra sale on the book with coming from a new guy, I mean, I don't know. Like in my mind, like a little less in my pocket, a little bit towards the dealership would probably be, like good for the first month.
Well, yeah, and it's not like 500 is some astronomical amount. It's not like
Right,
you gave up
exactly.
the world. 500 bucks. If we can't move 500 bucks as a dealership to save a deal, then we're not in the right business, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you try to hold all the gross you can, but if you're gonna lose the deal and it's 500 bucks, me as a salesman, I'm like, dude, just wrap it up, or I'll come out there and shake their hand, like, let's make it happen
Yeah.
because think about this, you have a reasonable customer asking for 500, and you may not make that deal over 500, but you better, or you have a customer that's like they want thousands off, and somehow you manage to make that deal. It's like, so you're willing to give the jerk 5,000 off, but you won't give the reasonable guy 500 bucks? Like,
Right.
take care
Right.
of this person. They're being reasonable. That's a reasonable offer. 500 bucks, done. I want you back as a on your next car though. Please
Yeah.
let me make that 500 bucks back on your next car deal, or bring a family or friend in. Here's a couple cards, come see me. Versus the guy that you give 5,000 off to make the deal. You make nothing and he never comes back and he leaves a bad review. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, you definitely don't want that. But yeah, no, so that was that. I guess, yeah, that was like my Hail Mary. So
Yeah.
like whatever it takes, a little, a little give in order to get the deal done, then we can get the deal done.
Yeah. And we're in the car business, man. We're here to sell cars. So
Hmm.
the more cars you can get on the street, the more referrals and repeats you're going to get. It only helps your career. So when you have tons and tons and tons of car sales driving around your hometown, and you're like, "Oh, I recognize him," and you truly stay in contact with them, and you do your follow-up, then that guy will recognize you, and you guys wave at each other across the street.
Of course.
So, and then all of a sudden you're going to start seeing repeat and referral. You can start seeing repeat business in the next 6 months. Customers buying now, they're like, we need something bigger. We're having a baby. You can see that quick. The referrals you could see within days of selling cars. If you just let your customers know, please, I'm brand new. Take a few of my cards. Please program me, share my contact info. I'll bend over backwards for you and your friends and family, and you'll start seeing referrals coming in.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting those business cards, that's for sure.
Yeah, you need those.
I need those. It's pretty important instead of a post-it, that pink post-it with my name and a phone number on it, right? Like I'm
Exactly.
selling, like I'm selling through Facebook Marketplace. But no, honestly, I'm super excited to be in the industry. It's a total game changer for me. And it's been a good first month. I mean, like, listen, like
Yeah.
I know some of your listeners are, like they might not have the same success in their first month, but I mean, your podcasts, they help get you
Yeah.
into that situation, the right situation, right? Where you're not thrown to the wind. And every dealership is different, every business is different. So
Yep. And we're all trying to do the same thing, and that's just make it,
absolutely.
right? We're all trying to make it. So keep up the good work, Alex. I really appreciate you booking the one-on-one. It means a lot. That way,
Trust me, I'll be booking another one, Kyle. Trust me.
yep, anything that a customer spends through Poor2Pro goes to me and my family.
I
And
know. I know.
I appreciate my family, my wife, kids, even the dog appreciates it. So
Oh, for sure. Trust me. Trust me. And my dog appreciates me taking the course because, it might be an extra toy or two at the end of the month, or an
of
extra bag
course,
of
thanks.
treats.
All right, buddy. I appreciate it,
Yeah,
Alex.
I appreciate it, Kyle. Thanks,
Have a
man.
good night.
You too.